What up, what up, what up? Thanks again for tuning in. This is The Activated Podcast, and with your host, Ibu. Once again, thanks everybody for tuning in every week. I really, really appreciate that. And not to get it confused with any of these imposters going on out there, but this is the original, the one and only Activated Podcast. I just want to put it out there just in case, you know what I mean? But anyways, moving right along, I really want to remind y'all that today, you're listening to this. This is Friday, February 9th. I just got to remember that because these get recorded a day or two before, whatever it is. So February 9th, which is today, inside the Royal York Museum, there is an event, Black History concert series happening, and I'm hosting tonight's show. So please come out and show some love and some support. This is Black History. This is for us, Black people. And we have, I believe, the artist performing tonight is Success K and many other things happening. So please come out and check it out. If you're in the city of Toronto, of course, this is happening in Toronto, inside the Royal York Ontario Museum. I really having a hard time saying that word, but nonetheless, if you want some tickets, I don't have tickets on hands, and I understand a lot of you Black people like to always get your tickets last minute. You know what I mean? You be promoting shit, and I know personally, and I'm talking about from personal experience. When we do parties, is that tickets goes out 2 months before, and everybody, 90% of everybody to come to the party, either pay at the door or they buy the ticket the day of. Now, I got bad news for you. I don't got tickets for this event, so you either have to go online. This is when you Google Royal Ontario Museum, you should be able to find it. That's how I found it. And then if not, I think you might be able to come there and pay. They're like $10, $15, something like that. So please come out and support if you are in the city of Toronto. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. And secondly, next week, February 17th, there is an event going on inside of Mama Land Resto Lounge. As you know, Mama Land everything. I always put y'all on game. Twine is happening, and it is $20 to get in. And it is 685 Lansdowne Avenue, which is Bloor and Lansdowne. So if you're in the city of Toronto, you should be familiar with it. If you're looking somewhere to go with your Valentine, you're going on the dates, first time, you're nervous, just bring her there. There'll be a lot of people anyway. She won't be able to, get confused or anything like that. You won't have that much pressure on you. You know what I'm saying? So Valentine, I need you to impress your significant other. So bring them. So we have an artist that's actually performing there. I'm gonna play the song. Yeah, I mean, Congolese Sensation. I'm sure most of y'all, if not, I've heard the song. He go by the name of Fabregas. I'll be honest with you, I've heard this song a million times, and I never knew who the artist was. So this is why it's important to always look into things. And they'll be inside of there. $20 for the ticket, 685 Lansdowne Avenue, inside Mama Land Resto and Lounge. So thank you again for coming through another week, another episode, right? And today I want to talk briefly about certain things. I like these things because I get to give it to y'all, like we get right to the point we get to talking about. But in the next couple of weeks, I do have some people coming through, and then to kind of elaborate a little bit on different things. So what we're going to get into today, two things I want to talk about, right? I want to talk about Valentine. I want to talk about Black History Month. Now, the idea behind Black History Month, I wasn't so familiar with. I'll be honest with you. A friend of mine asked me a question would prompt me to go and do a little bit of digging, a little bit of research, right? I didn't study history. I didn't study none of this stuff, so this is not my line of business, right? But with that being said, I think it's very important that every single one of us, right, researching is good. It's good to understand things a little bit better, to be a little bit more familiar with terms or things that's happening. And also, I know a lot of guys like to use it in conversation piece. Trust me, fellas, it works, right? You know what I mean? You meet a young lady, trying to sound like you know what you're talking about, do some little research, and then, there you go. I just gave y'all a little tip. You know what I mean? But and for me, it's something that I never used to do, but I'm starting to learn to do a little bit more. Is to kind of look into things that I'm not so familiar with and that are outside of my comfort zone. Because this is how you get better in everything you do, right? When you go to the gym and you start to lift 10 pounds, right? If you continuously do not increase the weight to the point where you're struggling, you'll never build muscle. So you got to think about it in the same kind of sense with your brain, right? Your brain learns a certain amount of knowledge to pass a certain point. That's why sometimes you'll be bored at work, right? Because once you maximize and your job becomes second nature, then you don't have to really think much, and you're not outside of work. You're not going out to expand your knowledge. You start to like, you know what I mean? Your effort, your love for whatever it is you're doing, it really starts to go down. So the reason why I love this, and even about every week, it's a little bit of research to go behind what I'm saying, and I love it because, believe it or not, I'm learning as I'm really going through and trying to explain it on the podcast. I'm actually learning as well. So I love it. So a friend of mine hit me up and was like, what is I think they were saying something about what is the meaning of Black History Month and why do we get the shortest month? Now, black people, I want to talk to y'all real quick. The reason why I want to talk to y'all specifically, because I want y'all and us to be better, right? The reason why I want us to be better, because, hey, contrary to belief, I am Black, African, and all that good stuff. And nothing against no other race. I love everybody, no shade being thrown. But I want us to be that much more better, if that makes sense, right? What it is we like to look at things in a negative aspect. I want us to start retraining our thoughts a little bit, right? I want us to start looking at things whenever somebody tells you something, challenge yourself to look at it in a positive light right away before you start to look at it in a negative way. For example, you go get a job, they try and pay you $12 an hour, automatically you think, man, I can't feed my family with this. Now, that might be a little tough, maybe a bad example, but what if you thought about it, damn, at least I'm getting an opportunity to temporarily, fill a couple holes here and there in my finances until I could get something better. So now the mentality is really the number one thing to hold a lot of us back. I myself have been victim of that where, somebody comes up and say something to you and you're like, nah, you don't even give them a chance because your whole life you've been thinking a certain way. And I know sometimes it is scary to change your thought process. Now, imagine if tomorrow you woke up and somebody told you the sky was yellow. Reason why it would fuck you up, right, is because, number one, from when you were a kid, we learned the color blue. I don't know where blue comes from. I mean, this is far beyond my time, but at some point in time, somebody decided that we're going to call this the color blue. And I'm sure it might be a deeper meaning behind it or whatever it is, but from when that was said that this is blue, throughout centuries, this is what we learned. So now you got to also think about it, negativity, or the thought to always sponsor your negative thoughts instead of your positive, is also a habit that you learn for a very long time. It's easy for us to be negative because, think about it, people, our society is what it thrives on. Like, this is what we love. You know what I mean? Kevin Hart get caught cheating. Ooh, everybody hype. Oh man, he dumb. You know what I mean? And you gotta think about it. We love to see people fail. Why? I don't know, right? But when we talking about the Black History Month, to really get to that point was, why February? Is there a particular reason? Why are we getting the shortest month? And which is crazy enough. I really never looked at. I never looked at it in the same. Like I've never seen it that way, right? February's February. Why February? I don't know. So what that prompted me to do is to do some research. Let me figure this out. Are we really because I'll be honest with you, all of us, if not most of us, always jump to conclusion without doing our research, right? I'm going to give you an example. Maybe y'all are familiar with this. This happened recently, so hopefully you are. A few months ago, there was a kid that was getting bullied, white kid. He was getting bullied because his face was shaped funny, so kids are very mean, by the way. So, I mean, not even kids, adults are mean. You know what I mean? But kids was going to school, was getting bullied. And then a picture was posted by his mom with the little heartfelt message. We fell for it, right? Everybody fell for it. I personally, I'll be honest with you, when I see things like this, I'm not really, I don't react because I'm not emotionally invested. So I could just like, okay, cool. Somebody getting bullied. I've been bullied too, big deal, right? I know I'm selfish, but these are things that I'm trying to figure out and trying to unlearn as we go, right? So after all these stars started to like reach out to him, we're going to start a GoFund and things like that. His mom then used the opportunity, because now she has a platform. She used the opportunity to really tap into, she tapped into our feelings, which is a kid getting bullied because he has a deformed face because of an accident or whatever it is, which is unfortunate. But now she tapped into it and she started a GoFund. So she was going to capitalize in how we felt. And, she was, I can't remember exactly who were really offering stuff, but a lot of stars was like, bring your son, blah, 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 all this good stuff. Now, not even less than a week later, somebody must have found their Facebook and went through it and then found that his stepdad or his dad was like, he had one of those big Confederate flags. So he is, and not even a suspected, but like a real white supremacist, going out there, white power and all this good stuff. And right away, people was like, people turned, obviously, everybody started pulling out their sponsorship and things like that. And then all that thing went to shit. Now, what's incredible about that is for a week, we didn't know how we felt, right? We were just going with the flow, like, oh man, this kid getting bullied. Maybe somebody, that used to get bullied, that stir of feeling inside of you, so you ready to really jump to the rescue. Now, the same thing, and the reason I'm telling the story is when I get the question like, why Black History Month? Why the shorter month in the year? It's because black people always have to work twice as hard. Now, not to dismiss these feelings, and those might actually be true, but please always remember what I'm telling you. Tap into your positive side and not the negative one. So always, now moving forward, make a pact, because I did for myself. I am going to start to promote my positive side. Now, what that means is, when I hear something, whatever it is, let me promote the positive side first before I get into my personal feelings about certain things. So, why is February the month that they chose for Black History Month? So, as I'm doing my research, it actually states, and I'm reading some of it right now, is that the reason why they chose February is because there was few black leaders, and this is in the United States, of course, that had their birthdays in the month of February. The likes of Frederick Douglass, February 14th, Abraham Lincoln, February 12th, even though that's a little bit shaky here and there because you always hear the good side of it. He freed slaves, and he did pass some laws that, obviously made it illegal at the time. And there's like rumors saying that he also owned slaves. I personally don't know. You might have to do your own research. This is the time. And so now when I read this, right, I can create an agreement that this makes sense to me. So if it makes sense to me, you know what? I'm going to choose to believe this over we got the shortest month because black people always get the short end of the stick or whatever that is, right? But even me telling you this might still not be true, right? This is somebody that went online and did their own research, and then they came to their own agreement, and then this is what they decide to put out there. And then once we read it, we decide at that point to make an agreement and side with the opinion, right? Now, this is why it is very important for everybody to make sure that before you agree with anything or decide to give an opinion thing, whatever you choose to do is up to you. I'm not here to tell you, but just understand that take ownership from some of the stuff that you're agreeing with. I really like to, first of all, I don't believe nothing nobody ever tells me right off the bat, right? You ever run into your homeboy you haven't seen in a while? First thing he goes, yeah, bro, I'm getting to the money, man. You know what I'm saying? I got this little, I pay cash for this whip, and so I automatically start to do math in my head and be like, okay, you pay cash. What do you do? Whatever it is, and I don't usually just jump out there and believe them, right? Because people lie. Number one, and number two, I'm very subjective. Now, I'm not sure if this is this is promoting the good side or the bad side or whatever it might be, but always be subjective, but always have the intention of really listening what somebody's telling you instead of always opposed to whatever somebody tells you. So tap into your good side. It's very important. And I got this from reading the book, and I was telling y'all about it last week. The 4 Agreements, incredible book. Incredible. Should have changed your life. It's changing mine because I'm starting to develop new habits based on that, and going forward, like I said, I would, because you gotta understand as well, is whatever an opinion somebody told you, whatever somebody decided to say some shit to you, it is sometimes it's not because it's not personal to you. These are just throughout history, everything we learn from our parents, from society, from the neighborhood, from your friends, from school. Think about it. Your religion, you've never even got a chance to choose your religion. Every single one of us grew up in a religion. And at some point, this is why maybe sometimes people drop off, right? Is because at some point when you now started to create your own agreements within yourself, you're having conflict. And I think for most, it starts with religion. It could be different things. You start to get into it more with your parents because you're saying, nah, I don't trust in what you're telling me, and they're your parents, so you're supposed to listen to them. You're like, no, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to go to school and become a doctor, but your parents believe that you must be the next doctor, and you know what I mean? So you got to think about it is that as you grow older, you start to now make your own agreements with yourself. So this is why you come into conflict with a lot of information out there. And usually based on whatever belief you grew up in, right? If you grew up as a Muslim, you might side with everything going on with Muslim. I mean, you don't know no better. As a kid, this is what was instilled in your subconscious. So now as a grown person, I encourage you, please find your path, find your own agreements, make new ones, let go of old habits, which is very important, and really start to tap into that, because once you let go, and in the book as well as I was reading it, is that, the most innocent people are children between the ages 3 to 4. Small children, that's why you see a little badass, I got a little badass nephew, right? Shout out to them. When they come downstairs, they be like putting their head through the railing, and they're ready to jump. So everybody's like, no, stop, don't jump, stop. You know what I mean? But they're kid, they don't know that if they jump, they might hurt themselves. Now, we know because we either personally experienced it or we've seen somebody fall and get hurt. So if we made an agreement with that, like, this is bad, you shouldn't jump off the stairs. But kids don't know any better. That's why kids, little children, when they go around, they're always smiling. Like, think about it for a second. As soon as you see a little kid, hey, little boy, as soon as you wave at him, he starts smiling. Why? Because he don't know no better. But when we're growing up, and if you come from a family that's like, oh man, Asian people are bad, you'll see Asian, you're not quick to like just smile for no reason. You gotta get to know the person and break down some of these barriers, and then you're like, oh man, like I thought y'all was really this way, but based on how we interact, now I've changed my mind and the perception of how the people are. But children don't have that. So that's why you see little kids running around. They super happy all the time. And as an adult, I think some of us, and this is my goal actually, is to really I know I can never get that innocent to where I was a child, of course. I know too much, and there's too much conflict, too many conflicted information going around out there. So it'll be tough. But like I said, I challenge you to really tap into that. Because your life would change, your mindset would change, and when somebody comes to you with an issue, always promote the positive side and see if it makes a difference. Now, I'm not saying you gotta agree with everybody, right? But that just means that you'll be able to look at it from a more positive way, and hopefully it impacts your decision making. Because the worst thing anybody could ever do is making a decision based on an emotional reaction, right? it really sets yourself up for failure. So it's something to think about. And Black History Month. I wanted to look up, and because I was thinking, right, as a black person, as an African man in North America, I looked up what is some of the most impactful research or invention the African, not even black people, but like African should be credited for or have been credited for. And one of the first things, it comes from like, Egyptian time, which is one of the oldest civilization or whatever it is. Or maybe not, I'm just saying, but they credit them for mathematics, medicine, and all this good stuff that obviously throughout the course of history have changed the landscape of the world. So, be proud of what you come from, your lineage. I know we are told that we should celebrate it once a year, which is only February, but you can celebrate your blackness anytime you really want. You don't gotta wait, and it don't have to be no grandiose and nothing extravagant, but like, every once in a while, do your research, tap into something, create. And what I love about this era, and right now, a lot of things that I'm seeing happen is everybody's in this creative mode, and everybody, is empowering being black right now. It got to be the coolest shit out here in these streets, yo, straight up. Like, I feel cool. Somebody asked me, what does it feel to be black? I said, just being the coolest motherfucker out there. I know that I could look at a white guy 9 out of 10 times. My dancing is not the best. I know I could still outdance him. I just know. It comes with it. Like, that's just what that, sometimes, and I don't want to dumb it down to just dancing, obviously, but being black is just being the coolest dude around to me. And much more. Like, you got to think about it too. And I've had this conversation, actually, shout out to my friend, I'm not going to put him out there. He was an Asian guy where we worked together, and we'll get into things, and I'll be telling him, oh, yeah, we do parties on the weekends and things like that. We do a little promotion, a little Afro Fest or whatever it is. He's like, bruh, I don't do shit on the weekend. Like, how can you come to work and you're working in here, obviously, you got good career, good whatever, and then on the weekend, it gets even better. And I was like, you gotta give that up to being black, I guess, right? But it's incredible. But moral of everything else, to encompass everything that I've been saying in the last 20 minutes or so, is promote the positive side. If you were to have any takeaways, promote the positive side. Challenge yourself to learn new things that make you uncomfortable, because that's the only way that you're going to improve anything that you want to work on. Right, everything, even as a person, start reading shit that's not about a biography of a famous black person, right? Like, read other things, read about different things, different cultures, and this is how you now start to shape your brain to really set yourself apart from the rest of the pack. So that's about it for that. And number 2, I wanted to run through a quick do's and don'ts for Valentine. I got a story for y'all, and I hope if you're listening to this, I hope you don't get mad at me. I know sometimes I overshare, but that's life. You know what I mean? Not that it's life, but I think it's very important for y'all. I like to show not a mistake, but it's definitely a teachable moment, something that we could learn from. Right? So I was coming with a list, do's and don'ts. I'm be honest with you. For me, I might have really celebrated Valentine's maybe 3 times. And the reason why I've not celebrated Valentine's because I've always, like, for the longest part of from my teenage year till about my early adult life, maybe early 20s, I haven't been in a relationship. So therefore, these habits, I picked them up late. Now I'm just like, I don't want to sound playing catch up, but, I'm trying to improve in that department. Not that it matters, but, it does matter. But I'm saying, like, it's never too late to really start to pick these things up. Now, the do's and the don't that I came up with, and at the end of that, I will share with y'all my little fail story, is that I think it's important to not overstress, right? Don't stress about. And I know Valentine puts a lot of pressure. I know every year for the past few years, I had this one joke that I always put up, or not a joke, but I always tell people to remember that on February 15th, all the Valentine gifts and items, the teddy bears, is all 75% off. So some of y'all that are in long-term relationship, now I'll be honest with you. If you are in a relationship for less than 6 months, this is not going to work for you. So you might want to just listen to it, but don't apply it to your life, because you ain't going to get away with it, okay? But if you are in a long-term relationship, speak to your spouse, your long-term girlfriend, you could kind of tell her, listen, we could celebrate shit on the 15th. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you're on you got to also gauge what your wife is like or whatever. Don't go over there, get slapped, and come blame the Activated Podcast. We're not responsible. But everything Valentine related goes on sale 75% off the day after Valentine. So that big ass teddy bear in Walmart right now that's $59.99. It's gonna be $5 on the 15th. So now I've used this excuse before. Use it at your own risk. Send a delayed package. I sent it in the mail, it didn't come. So what you do on the 15th, it might cost you a little bit more, but think about it. You're also saving, right? You're saving the price of the item, so you could pay a little bit more in shipping. You know what I mean? So on the 15th, you go get that teddy bear that's supposed to be $60. You get it for $5. Next day shipping is $15. So altogether, you spend $20 instead of $70+. Now, fellas, I repeat, if you within 6 months of a relationship, don't do it. It's not gonna work. She's not gonna understand. And if you really care about her, please don't do it. Right? This is the new improved me. As I would like to think, because the old me would have been, fuck it. She get what she gets, and it is what it is. Take it for it. So if you're looking to do it in long-term relationship, even better, right? If you're in a long-distance relationship, even better. This works. Even if it's new, it will work. Next day shipping. Hopefully she's not too far away or anything like that. So that's one of my tips, right? Take a leap of faith. Ladies, I know that it's hard for y'all to really understand. And this is incredible because you guys been yelling equality for the longest time. So this is your chance to put that equality shit to test, right? Actually, if you got a crush on somebody, ask them to be a Valentine. There's nothing wrong with that. Because sometimes we also scared. You got to think about it. Men are scared their whole life. Now, some of us, we go through our life where we're accustomed to getting no, so it's not a fear for us, right? Just like the person that get on stage and he could talk, he's not fearful because he's done it many times and he was nervous, so he got over that fear. So I think it's not a bad idea, but you also got to gauge. You got to make sure that it's the guy that might or might not say. Actually, you can't even do that. You just got to take a leap of faith and hope that they say yes or not. It could be a change. It could be a change. And I'm not going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen it on social media, and a lot of it worked because, I mean, we always got to figure this out. That I've seen one when the lady asked, he was like, "Thanks for asking. I really appreciate it. I didn't know how I was going to do it. Just for that, I'm going to take care of the rest. So you asked me, yes, I want to be your Valentine, so you ain't got to worry about nothing else. I will be taking care of the rest." When the holidays come around, trust me, everybody now become ranked. That's when they realize if they are the main chick or if they +2, whatever ranking they are, it falls on that. Because most of us cannot split ourselves into 6 or whatever girls you got on the side to be able to spend time with all these chicks. So this is the almost doomsday. This is the day where everybody found out their ranking. And I was actually talking about this with somebody on my Snapchat, and they was like, how would you feel if a guy asked you to spend time with you on the 15th and not the 14th? And I told her, well, that just means that you are 6th man of the year. I mean, and the reason why I'm saying that is because now the 14th, of course, he with the main chick, and the 15th. That means that after her, you know, 6 men of the year. It doesn't. I can't even describe it any better than that. So you shouldn't be offended to that. You should just now understand. Remember, always promote the positive side. Okay, cool. Now, does this mean that I want to be a side chick because he treats me well, he's a respectful guy, or I would respectfully decline and then put myself back on the market to restart the whole process? Right? You got to gauge these things, and you know, you got to figure out. It's nothing wrong with that. Men are stupid. Guys are stupid. We think we're smart, but really dumb as shit. Which is, I'm gonna slide into the next story just to prove to y'all how stupid men are and how stupid I used to be. But I've definitely gotten better. A few years ago, I was in a relationship with a young lady, and Valentine came around, and I think this might have been maybe not too long. No, actually, this was like a year after. So this is going into the first year kind of thing. So Valentine came around. The devil took me to the mall, right? I'm very bad at gifts, and not that I'm bad, but I'm like, I know I'm going to do it, and I leave it last minute, and I made a mistake. So if you are in a relationship, please don't wait last minute. So the devil took me to Yorkdale Mall. If you are familiar with that, in the city of Toronto, there's an incredible mall, which has a lot of stores, like any other mall across North America. So I went in there. So I'm there scrambling, trying to figure out, okay, well, I'm going to get her. You know what I mean? I was being cheap. I was, whatever it was. So I walked past, what's it called? Bed Body and Works. It's a store where they sell a lot of colorful gel and shower gel and shit like that. As I'm walking past it, I see a big sign. Buy 3, get 3 for free. So I got excited. I said, you mean to tell me I could get 6 things for the price of 1? I need to look into this. So I'll go into the store, young lady right there at the front. I get up there and I'm talking to her, and I was like, so what do I get for free? So essentially you get lotion, shower gel, and a spray. You buy and you pay for 3 of them, and then you get an extra set for free. And it was like $30. So essentially it's $10, whatever it is. I said, good. So now, at the time, I was also doing some dirtbag shit on the side, which I shouldn't have. And at the time, I was in my rapper mode. I was in the studio, so we needed a girl to come lay some vocals. I reached out to some chicks. She hit us with like $500. And I was like, you know what? I know a lot of girls. I'm going to figure this out. I know this one chick the sing. So my dumb ass, what I really try to do is I try to like finesse her, right? I'm trying to tap into her feelings so she comes sing for free. But how do I do that? Maybe if I make her feel special on Valentine's Day, like telling her, hey, I got you a gift, she might be like, oh, damn, you thought about me. But little did I know, she also finessing like 15 other dudes, so it didn't work. So I got this gift. So I told the lady from the counter, put it in 2 different bags. Okay? Put it in 2 different bags. Let's go to 2 different people. She probably looked at me like, oh, you're a dirtbag for sure. So I put it in my backpack, got on the train, got home. I think we must have went to the movie. We went out, had dinner or whatever it is, and we come back to my spot, and I go, oh, I got you something. Now, she was happy, right? Because I've not always been this thoughtful dude in the past. So I think it kind of showed that I was making strides, right? I truly tried. And then I gave her a gift. She was happy. I mean, it wasn't much, right? It wasn't expensive, nothing like that. But like I said, the thought counts. So I was in a small bedroom in York University Village. If you're familiar with that area, my whole room and bathroom was like 20 square meters. I mean, everything was on top of each other. So I had my TV and I had a desk. And inside of that desk, I thought I was smart because there's nowhere really to hide it. There was no like extra closet or nothing like that. So I had put it in my bag, and I put the bag inside of this closet. So we're going through, you know, when you doing shit you're not supposed to do, everything, you just looking around all nervous. So it started to get to me like, damn, if she sees the other gift, I'm screwed. So as I'm going through it, she accidentally kicked. See, God working mixed. That's what I'm saying, fellas. This is a teachable moment. Please listen to my mistakes. Don't try to lie. And if you're going to lie, not on Valentine's Day. I'm telling you, that shit will come back and backfire on you so bad. So back to the story. She was there, and then she kicked the iron. Now, inside the iron, there's water. So the water spilled in the direct area of where the other gift was. So then I panicked. I was like, man, what are you doing? Why are you kicking the thing? Now you got the water all over the place. And then she looked at me like, huh? I'm like, why are you tripping? Is this a big deal? Of course, woman got superpowers. So instinctively, it kicked in like something going on. So, whatever. So I went to sleep. She didn't go to sleep. See, women, she didn't go to sleep. All I know is when I woke up the next day, I remember it was early because I had to go to work. The first word I was hit with is, Ibu, are you cheating on me? And I'm not going to lie to you, the scariest shit a man could ever hear in his life. We need to talk. Or are you cheating on me? If you're going to fuck up your boyfriends, and ladies, if you're listening to this, give it a try. Whether you're having issues or not, text your boyfriend right now. And I promise you, text him right now. Hey, babe, we need to talk. I promise you that nigga going to lose sleep. 100%. So that being said, when she hit me with that, first of all, I woke up, and this is the first question that I get hit with instantly. That didn't even need to drink coffee. I was awake right away because she looked like she hasn't slept the whole night. And then I go, now I'm trying to figure out, okay, Ibu, you fucked this one up, but how much does she know? What can I talk myself out of? Because, allegedly, right, I ain't get caught, like, nothing like that. And at the time, my dumb ass never used to lock my phone. Worst mistake ever. Fellas, if you don't have a passcode on your phone, go put on one right now. I promise you. Not that you're hiding anything, because I wasn't hiding anything. There was only a set of messages from which I was guilty of for doing shit I wasn't supposed to do. But at the time, we did have a connection. Like, yo, I trust you. You trust me. I don't need to lock my phone. And she lied to me because she told me I would never go through your phone. Fellas, don't believe it. If she says she'll never go through your phone, it's a damn lie. Lock your fucking phone. Put 16 password, whatever you got to do. I'm telling you this. It's going to save your relationship. You're going to thank me later. So that being said, so now I'm like, what you mean? So I'm trying to gauge how much she knows. Yeah, she went through the whole message. She knew who the girl was. And women, they got this photographic memory. When they see the name, they can look up the Instagram. They see the phone number once, and they don't even have to take a picture of it. It just automatically saves in their brain. So there's no whatever. So she's like, and I found an extra gift. She found everything. So I was just like, okay, cool. So I just lost my girl at the time. So I kind of woke up with the idea that I was going to come back home with my place being empty and me being single. Now, I got to commend her because what she did kind of got me to even start to change my life around in many ways because incredibly enough, she wrote me a letter. Now, we didn't speak the whole day. I was gone. I was caught, my dumb ass. And I left for work. So, typical. I was supposed to get text messages saying, we're done, fuck you, all this shit. But when I came back home that night, because I had left her there was a letter on my desk. 3-page letter. And the first sentence, she wrote in pretty big font saying, it's something about don't panic or don't assume. Make sure you read it all the way to the end. Something about I'm not breaking it with you. Something like that. So I read the letter. Now, I got to commend her for that at the time. Even if it was me, I would have got out of there. But I was very immature in the way that I dealt with things. But she forgave me, and we were able, we're not together today, but we definitely was able to work through that and be better. Like, it made me better as a person. I'm going to tell you right now, you start to learn from situations like that it takes incredible strength and power. This is why women are way better than we are, because women are very forgiving, and we're just dumbasses always trying to cheat the system. So the moral of the story is, do not go to Bath Body Works, whatever it's called. If they offer you buy one, get three free, don't buy anything to get you another free item, because the devil is going to influence you. Even if you don't have side chicks, I promise you, if you get like 3 gifts, you will be tempted to give it to somebody else other than your significant other. At least for me, that's what it was. And to be honest with you, I'm so mad because that summer I moved into my roommate. With my roommate, we moved into another apartment, and he stole my gift. He probably went to give it to his side chicks too. He knows what I'm talking about. So he stole the damn gift. So at the end of it all, what did I gain from this? I spent money. I lied and got caught. So I hurt somebody, and she was able to forgive me. And number 3, the extra gift that I got, the girl never got it, obviously. And my roommate ended up stealing my gift back. So that being said, make sure to celebrate Valentine properly, whatever you're going to do. But always remember, never trying to cheat life, because that shit will come back to you, straight up. And I've learned from that, and I don't even go into that shop anymore, to be honest with you. I've never been there since. And then every time that I go past it, that story always pops in my head, and all I could do is laugh and just be like, damn, yeah, that's what it is. So that wraps up my story, right? And I hope y'all was able to gain something from it. I really like I try to always, line things up with my personal experiences. So, they always say wise men learn from smart people learn from other people's mistakes. So be smart and learn from my mistake. And if I messed up that quote, I mean, it is what it is, right? And I want to promote this. If you're going out to watch the Black Panther this week, make sure you got on your African outfit. If you don't got one, just go get your little $20 dashiki. This is one of those movies coming out at the right time where we are really behind this black movement, and it's incredible to support. So please go out, buy your ticket. And if you're not, I was telling people you had to pre-order your ticket from a long time. If you haven't, you're probably not going to see it first week. And then somebody's going to spoil it for you online. So do yourself a favor. Go buy your ticket right away. And make sure you watch the movie, Black Panther. So for me, that's it. I got everything off my chest. And I want to say thanks to my little brother for coming on last week. Of course, I know I put him on the spot. The mic was a little off at the end. He told me he was nervous and his palm was sweaty. So, sometimes you got to push the kid in the pool to see if he can swim. So tuned in every week, of course, as this is the Activated Podcast, and I'm your host, Ibu, and you've officially been activated. Peace.